The Denver Broncos silenced all critics yesterday in an absolutely beautiful complimentary win against the Green Bay Packers. If the Denver Broncos keep up on this rate, the Denver Broncos should absolutely sweep at the awards show this year. We're going to take a look at the remaining schedule this year and see what wins can we win out and where we go from here. Welcome to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz.
Tune in, now it's time to sit. Orange and blue, we never quit. Broncos pride is lit legit. Every week we're bringing grit. Orange and blue, we bring the heat. Podcast grind and can't be beat. Every play, every style we meet. Blitz so hard it's on repeat. Mile high dreams we elevate. Break it down, we narrate. From the field to the fan debate. Broncos country we dominate. We got the passion, we got the drive. Orange and blue keeps us alive. Every tackle, every stride. It's the Blitz where legends thrive.
Welcome in, guys, to another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. I am your host, Isaiah Henderson, also known as the BroncoGentleman. I'm sorry, guys, for not being able to be there for those shows. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, I've done everything I possibly can. Got new Wi-Fi, Ethernet, new computer. Whatever reason, the internet's fine when I do the show by myself, but as soon as more people hop on, it absolutely obliterates it, and I end up buffering, delayed, and I end up having to leave. So there are some production issues earlier today. That's why we're a little bit late, but that does not matter because it is all about the Broncos today, yesterday, and this week. The Denver Broncos are 12 into 11-game win streak, and we just beat the Green Bay Packers. We packed them up. They came to our house. We were underdogs, very disrespectful, and we just looked absolutely outstanding. I'm just at a loss for words. But before we do, thank you guys, because we just hit 600 subscribers. So thank you guys for that. And make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. There's a QR code right there on the screen. It can get you quick and easy to subscribe. Make sure YouTube is turned on public, so that way, when the giveaway starts, we'll tell you to remind you to put it on public, so that way you can be a part of it. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and anywhere you listen to your favorite shows. And don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, because later on this evening we have Broncos Bros at 7 p.m. And like I said, it's Broncos all week, every week, but especially this week. Everybody's talking about us. There's nothing you can say wrong about us. There's nothing you can take away from that game that, bad about us, and we're only going to get healthier, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can hear about that all week. There we go. Bingo. So, guys, what a wonderful, absolutely beautiful game that was yesterday. Just from beginning to end, just quickly go through it. It's all been watching highlights, videos, YouTube, just all the things you possibly can. Just inundate yourself with Broncos content. Absolute respect on this game. So let's talk about what leading up to the game, and now what's happening afterwards. So leading up to the game, Broncos were 11-2 back at home after a road trip going undefeated. We have not lost since September. And so there were some questions going into this game. Since the bye week, the offense has been much more efficient, much more consistent. And the defense has lagged off a little bit, whether it's been a fast start and a slow ending, or whether it's been a slow start, fast in the middle, slow again, fast, and just inconsistent the last few weeks. So the offense has had to carry the team. And Bo Nix in the offense has been much more efficient, especially Bo Nix. The run game has started to pick up. So there were questions going to this Packers game. The Packers were on a 4-game win streak. They beat the Lions and beat the Bears. They're on top of the NFC North. They're fighting for that number 2 seed. If they win this game and the Rams lose, they're going to be the number 1 seed. So there's a lot of things that they're fighting for. Jordan Love is said to be the better quarterback. Josh Jacobs is obviously the better running back. They have Micah Parsons. They have pretty Xavier McKinney, who led the league in interceptions last year. They have Quay Walker. So they're said to be a pretty good balanced team. Both rosters are very well balanced. And they're definitely a playoff team. And so the Broncos, for whatever reason, were underdogs at home. Going to this game, the Broncos were on a 10-game win streak, and they had the best home record in the NFL. They're undefeated, and then they haven't lost at home since last season. And so it's very well known that it's very hard to play in Denver at Mile High. But for whatever reason, they decided to make us underdogs. And that was the story leading up into this week. And so we took that personally. Media made sure to ask the players, ask the coaches. We made sure to talk about it on social media. Interesting conversations with Packers fans going on social media as well. So game starts. Go down often, deep. They go down. We get tightened up in the red zone. They go up 3-0. RJ Harvey fumbles. Looks bad. They go down, kick another field goal, 6-0. So then it's a big boy drive. So then we come down. The first touchdown, who was the first touchdown? Michael Bandy. Bo Nix rolls out to the left, walks down the field, throws a touchdown. We're up 7-6. Okay, this is a game. It's not going to be a walkover. It's going to be a game. We're up 7-6. Packers come back down. They score a touchdown. Josh Jacobs. Dre Greenlaw was an excellent coverage. Excellent coverage by Dre Greenlaw. A better catch and throw by Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs. I don't take anything away from Dre Greenlaw for that. His coverage has been good. He has an interception, and that was just on the season so far, and that was just good coverage. So now it's 14. So then we come back down the field again. Bo Nix walks him down the field again. Touchdown pass, low Jordan Humphrey. So now it's 14-13. So we're like, okay, this looks like it's going to be a shootout game. Going into halftime, right before, Packers get the ball back, kick a field goal, 16-14. Packers receive the ball, second half. So, okay, it's a one-possession game. What was it? 3 drives, 2 touchdowns. Offense looks good. Defense looks like they need to adjust. Coming out second half, like the first or second play of the second half, Josh Jacobs runs for 40 yards for a touchdown. So now it's 23-14. So now it's a 2-possession game. Defense looks like they didn't make any adjustments, and it looks like the Packers are going to, they've got their foot on the gas. Broncos come out 3-0. And now the Packers get the ball back. And we're like, okay, this is it. This is a big drive. We need something. And so the Packers got greedy. They got greedy. And they decided that the best thing to do in their time of greed was to target the Defensive Player of the Year one-on-one. And that's what they did. They were confident. They were sure. They were absolute. They were going to execute to perfection. And so it's a play action. Jordan Love drops back. He has to step up because there's pressure. Step to his right because there's pressure. Step up in the pocket. And he throws it as he gets hit. And everybody's looking. And then Pat Surtain makes the greatest interception I've ever seen by a Denver Bronco. Once again, just like last year in the Raiders game, when we needed something, the best player on the Denver Broncos stepped up and made a game-changing play. Unfortunately, on that play, Christian Watson got hurt, and we never want to see any injuries ever. So that's the unfortunate part. But do not try him. Do not play him. Go try something safe. He's not the guy to throw that way. And you and your team paid dearly for targeting him because he picked it off. Broncos get the ball back, go down the field again. Beautiful touchdown throw. Cortland Sutton. Packers get the ball back. So now it's 21-23. Packers get the ball back. We get the first sack of the game. We get the ball back to Bo Nix. We go down the field. Touchdown throw to Troy Franklin. Now we're up. We went for 2. We didn't get it. Now we're up 26 to 23. No, 27 to 23. 27-23. Packers come down. Field goal. Riley Moss gets an interception as well. Gets a nice interception as well. And then we get 2 more sacks on the day. And so we end up winning 34-26, winning by 8. And Bo Nix was 23 of 34. 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0 sacks. And what makes this game so juicy and beautiful and glorifying is the fact that not only did we beat the Packers, but we beat the Packers because of the play of Bo Nix from the first quarter to the last quarter. But not only that, it was a total team effort. From top to bottom, this is the best roster in the NFL. Now, depending how Davante Adams is out, how long Davante Adams is out for with the Rams can determine the Rams' future. The Seahawks are going to let them know whether or not they're going to hurt without Davante Adams. I'm telling you that right now. But the Broncos have the best roster because with Micah Parsons, with Sean Payton's game plan, Zach Strief, Bo Nix took 0 sacks. He did very well stepping in the pocket, evading sacks. He's really good at avoiding sacks. No sacks taken, no picks thrown, 300 yards. And most people in the nation had access to the game. It was almost like a primetime game. And so now we're on an 11-win game win streak. We're 12-2. We have the number 1 seed in the AFC. I don't know. On the show, we predicted we go 13-4. And I have to admit, I had my orange and blue colored lenses on. I was definitely biased, predicting 13-4. But to realistically be in a position to be 13-4 or be better than 13-4 was something that I really did not see. And the best part about this is that we're seeing this not in week 4, but we're seeing this in week 14, 15. And so we've been 10-2, 11-2 without this. Now we have it. And so now you're like, the sky is the limit. Shout out to Vance Joseph for definitely adjusting the second half and zoning out Jordan Love and absolutely taking over that game because they were completely done. After that 40-yard touchdown by Josh Jacobs, Alex Singleton went the wrong. He didn't fill his gap at all. He went the wrong way. After that, defense didn't allow 3 points after that. So we adjusted. We need 15 sacks in this last against the Jaguars, Chargers, Chiefs. We need to average 5 sacks in those last 3 games to break the sack record. So that's something that's very, very interesting to think about. But one pace to break the single season sack record. The reason why I say there's one pace to break the single season sack record this year. Offensive line, we haven't had Ben Powers for almost 2 months, our starting left guard. And we still are the best offensive line in the NFL, the least sacked quarterback in the NFL without our starting left guard. This is why I say the best roster. Because you have Defensive Player of the Year making an insane interception, game-changing interception like that. Then you have Riley Moss later on getting another interception. So the secondary is elite. You have Talanoa Hufanga coming in on a toss play and injuring their fullback / tight end. Christian Watson going on for a deep post on Pat Surtain gets injured, and we get an interception. Micah Parsons, unfortunately, tore his ACL. Going after Bo Nix. Bo Nix does a stutter step, and it freezes him up. And so just making these plays when we need to, and we're getting healthier. And that's what we're going to talk about before we talk about the future schedules. We're going to talk about the injuries that we have, the people that we have coming back. And so we lost Justin Sternad. People that are going to pop up on the injury report are Justin Sternad, Brandon Jones, who's getting an MRI. Lord willing, we're praying that it's similar to a Pat Surtain injury, and it's not a season-ending injury. Lord willing, it is not a season-ending injury. Appreciate the thumbs up. RJ Harvey, Justin Sternad, and Brandon Jones. Those are the 3 off the top of my head who didn't finish the game. But we have Ben Powers, our starting left guard, and Pat Bryant coming back. So you have this receiving core. So when Pat Bryant was in, he was looking really, really good. He comes out, misses a hamstring. Troy Franklin has the best game of his career. So you're subbing one guy. So Troy Franklin's losing snaps. Pat Bryant's gaining snaps. And then when Pat Bryant gets injured, Troy Franklin gets those snaps back, and he does excellent. Excellent. Lil Jordan Humphrey coming back and fitting perfectly in with the Broncos because we know he played for the Broncos. Now he's a fan favorite. I mean, he's doing excellent He's doing very, very well. So this receiving core is really, really clicking. And Courtland Sutton had one of his best games, I think, of his career. His hands were the best I've ever seen them. Not only on that fourth down, not only on that touchdown, but also that fourth down. They were, when the ball hit his hands, with his hands, they weren't with his body, they were with his hands and they were sticking. My theory, my opinion, I think Pat Bryant's having an influence on the wide receiver room. That's just my opinion. I think Pat Bryant's having an influence on the wide receiver room. Pat Bryant's hands is making everyone else's hands elevate. Troy Franklin on that third down where he had to come back and he caught it with his hands, or that touchdown post where he jumped up with his hands and caught it. So the receiver room is clicking, and now you're just bringing Evan Ingram caught that one-handed. Now you're just bringing Pat Bryant into this. Marvin Mims even came back and had a good game. Michael Bandy had a touchdown. So you have all these weapons that are now starting to click. RJ Harvey, I think underrated, had a really good game. 19 rushes. That's the most rushes by, I think, what is that? The second most rushes by any running back this season for what? 65 yards and a touchdown. That's efficient. That's enough. That's a threatening enough run game to make the defense respect it. And guys, to get 1,000 yards as a rusher, you have to average between 54 to 48 yards, 54 to 58 yards a game to get 1,000 yards a season, in a season. So the last game he had 75. This game he had 65 and a touchdown. And I believe he also had a touchdown last game as well. So he's good in the red zone. He's becoming more efficient. He had that fumble, which, Sean Payton went back to him and showed that he still trusted him. And he's got a rib injury, so hopefully that's just some, just a strain, some soreness. He'll be good to go. But we did just sign Sincere McCormick. And so this will maybe an opportunity for him to get some touches as well. So we did just sign him to the practice squad as well. We did sign Elijah Moore because Pat Bryant got injured, but we didn't need him. But we're being smart with that. So this roster is very well built. So we're getting Ben Powers, we're getting Pat Bryant back. Nate Atkins did really well. There was excellent play design. Sean Payton did really, really well. Hopefully Justin Sternad is okay. Hopefully Brennan Jones is okay. Justin Sternad, Brandon Jones, anyone else I'm missing? And RJ Harvey. Hopefully all those three guys are okay. All right, guys. So we have the Jaguars, we have the Chiefs, and we have the Chargers. So we know that the Jaguars and the Chargers game will be at home. And so the Chargers will be rooting for us we'll be rooting for the Jaguars to beat us, because that means that last game will be for the division, because they are undefeated in the division. And so if we lose one more game before the last game, that game will be for the division, and we may fall out of the first seed because of that. That game means a lot. So we have the Jaguars at home, and the Jaguars are a hot team, just like the Packers. I'd say their roster is pretty even. I think their run game is just as good as the Packers. I don't know if they have all the receivers, but this is Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick is coming home. So Brandon McManus came home last week, and now Tim Patrick is coming home. So they have Tim Patrick, Brian Thomas Jr., and they have a pretty good, what's his name, Strange, the tight end, Travis Etienne. And their defense is pretty decent. Their defense is good. The defense is good. Their pass rushes, but their pass defense is good. And they've got Devin Lloyd. So that's who Bonner's going to have to watch out for, is that lurking linebacker. He's one of the top 5 in NFL's interceptions this year as a linebacker. But I think if we can make them one-dimensional again and get after the quarterback, I think that we can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. I think we really, really can. I think the run game is going to be really important in this game. Like I said, because that linebacker is going to be lurking. There's some throws that Bo Nix made against the Packers that he's not going to get away with with Devin Lloyd. There are some plays. There are some throws that Bo Nix made. There are some plays that Sean Payton ran that he may not run against the Jaguars because of that lurking linebacker. And so those bobbled balls and stuff like that, he's a ball hawk. So that's one of the things that we have to definitely look for when it comes to that against the Jaguars. But I think if you pressure Trevor, this is the most Trevor Lawrence has ran. So we're going to have to account for his legs as well. He's definitely used his legs a lot more this year with Liam Cohen. But, we've had the Astros have had success against Liam Cohen last year when he was the coach for the Buccaneers. And so I think that if our receivers should have do a pretty good job against our corners, our secondary should do a pretty good job against their receivers. Looks like PJ Locke's going to be the starter with Brandon Jones. Hopefully, Brandon Jones is not out for the season and he can come back. He's ready for the playoffs, Lord willing. So that's going to be interesting to see. But it's interesting to see what Pat Bryant and Ben Powers back, so the run game should be even better. Hopefully, RJ Harvey's okay as well. And then after that, we have the Chiefs primetime game on Christmas. Now, this game that everyone thought was going to be for the division, it was going to be for the top seed. The Chiefs were struggling. They were storming back. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL, so he's out for the season. He probably won't even play next year. And they're eliminated from the playoffs. So it's just an awful day for the Kansas City Chiefs and Chiefs Kingdom. Go Broncos and Broncos country. So that game is for nothing. It's prime time, but it could be a trap game. It's in Arrowhead. It could be snowing, and they may want to play spoiler. But Sean Payton's got the boys focused on each game each week. And after that, if we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars and if we beat the Kansas City Chiefs, even if the Chargers went out and we went out, we could rest our starters week 18 and lose that game and still get the first seed and the first round bye because we own the tiebreaker with the Raiders with the Patriots because we beat the Raiders twice and we have one game ahead of the Patriots. I understand that. I hate losing to the Chargers. We would technically be swept by the Chargers, and that would mean Sean Payton would have not beaten the Chargers. So there's a trade-off. Would you rather keep the losing streak to the Chargers alive, but we get a first-round bye and extra time for rest? Or do we drop a game and have to play the Chargers? So no. Best case scenario, first round bye. It is what it is. So get that first round bye. Hopefully J.K. Dobbins comes back by then. Hopefully Brandon Jones is back by then. Maybe even we bring Drew Sanders up for the playoffs. And we have the potential, Lord willing, no injuries. Up until then, there's a potential we could be going into the playoffs fully healthy. And speaking of fully healthy, Dre Greenlaw played 77% of the snaps yesterday, so he was no longer on a snap count because Justin Strnad got injured. He laid a good hit on Josh Jacobs. But now we know he's good to go. So hopefully Justin Strnad comes back healthy and we can go back to, having some fresh bodies. We brought up Jordan Turner. We didn't know Justin Strnad was going to be injured, but we elevated Jordan Turner as well. So we have him as well. So we can go into this playoff push into these last few weeks fully healthy. And my biggest fear is everyone's talking about Vance Joseph and Davis Webb, rightfully so. But what if someone takes Zach Strief? Because we've had the best offensive line 2 years in a row, best pass protecting offensive line 2 years in a row. Mike McGlinchey went out last year. They've all been healthy, all played together. Lloyd Cushenberry was gone. Luke Wattenberg stepped in. We got better. Mike McGlinchey went down. Alex Palczewski, undrafted, stepped in. We were fine. Ben Powers goes down for a couple months. Alex Palczewski steps in at left guard. We're fine. So is he one of the guys like Lombardi that Sean Payton hired who has no interest of going anywhere else and he's just fine? He gets paid a lot of money. He got promoted to assistant head coach and he's the offensive line coach. So is he fine staying where he's at for a while, or is he one of those guys that are going to pick up to be offensive coordinator somewhere? or is the next step for him just a straight head coach job? So that's the guy I'm definitely looking for, and that's the guy that I'm definitely keeping my eye on is Zach Street, but deservedly so. I'm just being selfish. But expect for the Broncos staff to be rated. The second, the defensive line coach, maybe the linebackers coach, the DB coach, the secondary coach, offensive line coach, tight end coach. I mean, receiver coach. It doesn't matter. Expect to be rated. And so it happened to us last year. Our front office and some of the staff got rated. Expect for it to happen again. But that's the sign of a good team. So with Vance Joseph, we'll get some comp picks. So not only going into the next season, we'll have a ton of draft picks. I believe we have 7 or 8 currently, but we should get 2 third-rounders for Vance Joseph. And then we should get some more draft picks for Jonathan Franklin Myers, I believe. I think for Jonathan Cooper as well. I'm not sure. But we could end up with 10 to 12 draft picks in addition to Russell Wilson's dead cap falling off. So we're going to have more money and more draft picks next year with a really good roster, high retention. Everybody's locked up. I think we should sign Jonathan Franklin Myers. Go ahead and extend him. I don't know. I mean, Wazirike's done well. Unless Malcolm Roach did get his we did extend Malcolm Roach. So we didn't. Yeah, I think we extended Malcolm Roach. Yeah, we did. And so, but I still want to extend Jonathan Franklin Myers as well. But I understand. But we've got a ton of draft picks, ton of free agency money. And we're the exact opposite of the Chiefs. Chiefs has $44 million cap hit going into next year. Patrick Mahomes won't play, and a lot of their guys should have huge cap hits next year, including Patrick Mahomes himself, including Travis Kelce and Chris Jones. So those guys may retire. So they're going to be trying to rebuild. And then the Chargers are going to be the other team that we're going to worry about. But we're set up in a good position. We use our draft capital well. We use our money well, even better than we did before, because we did much with little. When we didn't have free agency money, we spent free agency smart. We got guys like Lil Jordan Humphrey, Mike McGlinchey, Ben Powers, Brandon Jones, Jonathan Franklin Myers, made a trade for him. So we made smart strategic moves that has turned into this 12-2 roster. So we were faithful with few. Now we're going to be faithful with much. So now we have more money, more draft picks. So who knows who we can get in the first round? We can, with all these draft picks, maybe we want to trade up and go get Kenyon Sadiq. We can get a guard or a defensive tackle in the second round. Inside line, maybe we want to trade up and get an inside linebacker. We have free agency money to sign to Kobe Dean from the Philadelphia Eagles, who will be an undrafted free agent. So Alex Singleton leaves. Let's say we go get Kobe Dean and bring him in with Drake Greenlaw, bring back Justin Sternad, and then you can still draft an inside linebacker. So your starting linebackers would be Drake Greenlaw and Kobe Dean. And then you have Justin Sternad, and then you have your draft pick, and then you have Jordan Turner, Corinne Reed, and the rest of the guys that we have, Lavelle Bailey, and the rest of the guys that we have on the practice squad who are developing as well. You can do that with free agency money. Let's say you also want to get Kobe Dean, and let's say you also want to get and let's say you want to make a trade. I mentioned this before. But let's say the Colts don't have any first-round picks, and they don't have a starting quarterback, and their quarterback is also going to be out next year. Depending on how fast he can recover, he may be back for the start of the season. Let's say you want to go trade for Jalen Waddle again in the offseason. You traded for him. Let's say you gave away your first-round pick for Jalen Waddle, whatever the case may be. Or you traded away a second-round pick for Jalen Waddle. And then you use your other draft picks to trade up in the first to get Kenyon Sadiq. And then you sign a Kobe Dean. That's the things you can do with all these draft picks. And then you also need another running back. Dameon Pierce is suffering on the Chiefs. But maybe trade up for Jeremiah Love, or they think he's going to go in the top 5, so probably not. But you never know. There's all these options. Derrick Henry's going to be a free agent, isn't he? Maybe you want to sign Derrick Henry. I don't know. But you have all these options, and the Broncos country in Mile High is going to be a huge destination as well, because we're a winning team with a good coach and a great culture as well. And that's something that that's going to be interesting to see in the offseason. But first, we have to go week by week, game by game, and we enjoyed this absolute team win against the Packers, and now we're going to get another one at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I appreciate you guys being with me here for another episode of Orange and Blue Blitz, brought to you by the Orange and Blue Network. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere you listen to your favorite shows. Mile high salute to you all. I will see you guys Friday when we are blitzing the Jags. Today, we packed them up. Friday, we blitzed the Jags. I love you all. Mile high salute, and I'll see you guys soon.
We confide.